What's up, guys? You're in for a treat tonight. We're at my friend Mark's house, and he's got a pristine collection of Honda motocross bikes and Husqvarnas that you've been restoring for how many moons?
A good 15, almost 20.
A mutual friend of ours, a matter of fact, the shop that we just left, the previous video, I think
David.
You've done some work with Dave in the
Right,
past.
we grew up together.
I actually just bought both of his Honda 350s, and he gave me your number to come take a look at his collection. Wait till you see what's inside here. Let's check it out. Now, David's a professional mechanic, and he said that Mark is a perfectionist. And when you see this bike, you're going to see what he's talking about, because he did an amazing job.
Yeah, I got some kind of disease that makes me.
Hold on. Who can make the best angel sound? Okay. This is the holy grail, the 79 CR250. Which end do you want to start on? Because this thing is just beautiful.
Well, this is the bike that is most like the bike that I raced back then. This is and it's got a number on. It's number 4, right? 70 up here, 79.4.
Yep.
So it was number 4 out of the bikes I did, and this one was the bike that was most like the bike that I raced back in '79.
So 79 is the year, and 4 was the fourth.
4.
You've done 5 of these.
I had 5 of them, so they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is a full frame off restoration. Obviously, you can see everything's been done on it.
Yeah, powder coated bearings, everything. I went to Honda and bought every part you could buy. So I don't remember what year it was, but if you were restoring a '79 CR250, when I got done, you couldn't get any more parts because I bought them all.
It is so beautiful. Are those brand new Fox air shocks?
I've got a brand new set of Fox shocks in a box. Those aren't it, but I've got a brand new set.
What a beautiful piece, Mark. It's so nice. Wow.
And see, they're all Honda. These are all Honda new fasteners. I was able to get new bolts from Honda and stuff.
That's time consuming, just researching the parts numbers and chasing it down. It's a labor of love for sure. You got to be completely committed to take a bike to this level from the frame up.
There's a couple of things that I had, like I didn't have the adjustment bolts for that bike, so I ran out of some fasteners. But there's just a couple of things that may not be finished on it.
Is the motor modified or hopped up at all?
Yes, the motor. I did I did a port job on it and,
Nice.
and pretty much put it back the way it was when I raced it. When I raced them, every time I'd re-ring them, I'd poured them again and poured and poured and poured.
What club did you race? AMA or was it district? AMA district.
Local stuff, AMA local stuff. And I didn't make all the races. I made. Race a week, skip a week, race a week, skip a week.
Enough to get totally obsessed into a lifetime of collecting them. That's awesome. How many years did it take to restore all these? And some of them are N.O.S. unrestored, right?
Yeah, this is a N.O.S. unrestored bike. This bike is really a kind of unrestored bike. This is an N.O.S. unrestored bike. That's my son's bike. He used to ride N.O.S. unrestored. This bike. You're gonna have to figure this thing out. This came from the Husqvarna Corporation.
Yep.
And I was told it had pedigree, but I want you to look at the framing on it. It's not a Husqvarna frame.
Wow.
And if you can tell me what kind of front end that is, and see how the frame is we need to pull it up so you can look at the welds on it.
Yep.
But I was told it was a profab frame, and Husqvarna sold profab frames.
Yeah, that's definitely not a stock Husqvarna frame. They didn't have that round bend right there. They were more square looking. I used to race Huskies back in the early 80s, 82, 83.
Well, they sold profab frames back then, and the frames were as much as the bikes.
I'll bet this thing barks with that pipe on there, huh?
I've never cranked it. That's one bike I haven't really done anything to.
Guys, before we go any farther, Mark made a comment over here that you may have missed. Guys, this is N.O.S.
N.O.S.
What does N.O.S. stand for those that may not know?
New old stock.
This is a brand new 1979 Honda CR250R Elsinore. Correct? Is that
correct?
And has it ever been started or had a gas in it?
Not that I know of.
So, how did you end up with this? It is absolutely beautiful.
I bought it from an attorney there was a dealer or a gentleman in Colorado that I heard about, and he had a bunch of new old stock Hondas.
Yep.
And he was a big time collector. This is before people started restoring these bikes and really getting into collecting them.
Yep.
Well, the attorney bought it from him, and the attorney kept it in his office, and I was lucky enough to get up with him, and we talked, and we became friends and all. And he said, "I want you to have it because I don't want anybody to mess it up."
It is beautiful. Well, he gave it to the right guy because it is absolutely pristine. Amazing. So that's this is 79 number 3.
Right.
This is 79 number 4. And this one is 79 number 2. They're in a
Right.
row. So
Yeah.
1, 2. That's awesome.
And I restored, and this is the way I took the serial numbers, and I went from the oldest to the newest, and that's the reason they're kind of in that way. And this is the first one I restored. And by the time I got to this one in number 5 over here, I was running out of N.O.S. pipes, so I started using aftermarket stuff.
So these are N.O.S. stock pipes on here.
Yeah.
This one here.
No, this is, that is a Honda factory pipe.
I can see that. Yeah, HM430 says it right on there. Yep.
And this bike here, Ken, I want you to go over it because you know OEM stuff from aftermarket.
Yep.
They're everything. Like we can pull that seat off, and we can take it all apart, and it is all 100% OEM equipment. See the big tailor, right there.
It has very little patina on it for 40. So it was obviously kept indoors, never seen the light of day, and it's never been in the sun because the red will fade.
Sheets, I keep there's all these piled up sheets. I keep sheets over them.
It's been under a sheet, so yeah, so that's how it stays so crisp looking.
And this is climate control, and I keep a dehumidifier in here running. And I used to have a thermometer right there, and I kept it.
It pays dividends because you don't see any of the pitting on the aluminum. Like I've taken brand new motorcycles out of a crate. As a matter of fact, 2003 Harley Davidson, and all aluminum was pitted on it because it wasn't kept in a climate controlled environment. So some N.O.S. bikes are not that clean. That one's exceptionally clean.
You have to keep that. You can't have that temperature variation. And I'll tell you what, the secret is to keep them covered up. That bike over there, my first bike, I had my wife make me a bike cover for it.
Yep.
And she said, "No more of that."
Hold on, guys. Keep the camera right there, Christy. My heart started beating on fast. You know why? That's my bike right there.
Yep.
My favorite, all-time favorite motorcycle, the Honda CR500R. I've got a 97 that I still ride. And we have Robbie Knievel's CR500 in the museum, actually. And I think we have, at this point, we've probably got darn near close to 15 of them because we just bought 5 from a collector in Florida. So we're kind of obsessed with CR500s.
Just a little.
Yeah, a little bit. And now my son's racing them, which is awesome. So, and that one is absolutely beautiful. But let's go back to the 250s because I want to do these in order. We got 70. This is the first, second, third, and fourth one that you had restored. The third one needed no restoration whatsoever.
The third one, the only thing I did to it was I redid the bars. I had the bars powder coated, and I think I replaced the roller on it. There were just minor little touches, and I think is that this one may have spent $200 on. No, because this one was all brand new. It was the other bike. I spent $200 on a Kickstarter. It wasn't that one.
And it's got the kickstand, which is really rare. It's the first thing that guy would take off if he's going to race it, right?
It's all here. Look at the tank. See, there's never been gas in that tank.
It's absolutely immaculate. Wow.
I mean, you stick your nose in there. There's no. Wow.
That's not something you see. So over to 79.2, the second one restored. Tell us about this one.
That one is, it's not as radical. I didn't do as radical a port job on it, and I used more OEM parts, and it's pretty much stock, except for, see, it's got stock bars on it, and some of them I didn't use stock bend bars because I like the lower bend bars, but other than Fox shocks and a mild port job, it's all there. It's original front tire on that one.
Yep.
And some years they had those funky front tires.
Yep.
But some years they didn't. Some years they had these front tires, kid, because I've got the literature from Honda, and it's showing these tires on it.
Very cool.
But yeah, I got a bore scope. You can run down in each cylinder and look at them, and I haven't run it in that one, but it should have home marks in it.
Yep, it has Bridgestones on the front of this one. This has chain shins on it, I don't. I'm not sure, but I've never heard of them coming with chain shins from the factory. The rear's a chain shin, the front's a chain shin. Maybe they dry rotted and they replaced them possibly. There's usually a date code on them somewhere too.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to want you to do. I said, check the tires, check the date code on them.
Yeah, here it is. I think that's it. It says 1211. It's possible that these are a 2011 tire. Possible.
Well, that it could be because that's about the time I bought this bike.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe they, of course, they can dry rot. So from sitting, rubber gets hard. So 40 years it might have been a little.
And some of these bikes were in a crate too, and that whenever they're in the crate, they
Yep.
are getting smashed.
I don't recall the forks having being quite this shiny either. So someone might have. Were these powder coated or painted or do you think that's the original finish? I don't remember them being that shiny, but.
Well, I'll tell you what, it does that right there. It to me, that is a question mark, and this is the reason I wanted you to go through all the bike and look at it and just go through it from one end to the other, because that does look like it's got a clear coat on it. In fact, I would say that those were clear coated.
Yeah, maybe someone did this to preserve it, possibly, if it was starting to fade or flake or something like that.
And when you go look at it, see, it's got all the, you know what I mean? There's everything is N.O.S. as far as all the hoses and the parts and the plastic, and stuff like that, and it's kind of overdone.
Yep.
I knew that, and I taken the wheels off of it and looked inside the drums. The drums look just like the outside of the bike.
And you ran a borescope into the cylinders on all of it.
Yeah.
Obviously. So this one is the race. This is the race build that you had done.
I got a borescope right here.
Snap-on borescope. That's top shelf. This is a race build. This is N.O.S. This was a mild resto mod. The only deviation from stock being the Fox air shocks on
and
there.
See,
right?
that was like the first bike. I raced two of these. The first 79, all I did was I had Ohlins on the back of it.
Okay.
And I couldn't afford Fox shocks back then. Ohlins and a mild port job, and I had air caps.
Yep.
And tuning. That was it. And the second one I raced, I did a lot more.
This is an original front tire on this one too.
There's two of them with those funky front tires.
That kind of proves it doesn't have over 20 hours on it, probably, right? The original frame, I would guess. If that's the original front tire, this bike doesn't have over 20 hours on it.
Yeah, and they changed tires though. They went from this design to a more universal, simplistic design like that. But I don't know when in the 79. Mid-year when they did it or what. But
guys, stay tuned. We'll get to the 500 soon enough, but we got to check this one out. This is the 79 one. This is the first one, the first replica of your race bike you had when you were a kid, right?
Right.
So what did you do on this build?
That's pretty much. It's got a dent in the tank. I'm in the pot. Pretty much about the same. I tried to get as OEM as I could, and this one's got different. Side panels and stuff, and I changed the bars, changed it up a little bit. I wanted them not to be completely identical, but somewhat different.
Yeah. You got the Fox air shocks on there, real nice looking.
Yeah, a real nice set of Fox on these.
Very nice. Did you port this one too, or is this?
Yeah. If the cylinder's been bead blasted, I ported it.
Nice.
And back in the day, that's what I love to port my bikes. I love to sit there at the workbench and just spend hours on those.
And this one here, this is a what year is this for?
This is a 2004 CR500R. This is a real low hour bike. I bought it from a buddy of mine that collects bikes, and he had a bunch of property, and this bike wasn't really ridden in the dirt. He said most of the time he rode it to the mailbox. He had a real long driveway, and really the only wear is on the back tire. It's got the original tires on it.
It looks really clean.
And that I have and this one, it's just a low hour 04, and I've got a 450 and I've got an 80 for my daughter, and I thought it was kind of cool to have a pair. 04. I ride this bike, she rides the.
That one's super clean.
Yeah,
obviously it was never raced or anything because the graphics aren't and the seat aren't all beat up. It probably has less than 10 hours on it.
That's what it is.
Just around the yard, like I said, down in the mailbox and back.
And these bikes they make real good wood spikes.
They were very popular motocross bikes too. That was the 0304. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I think that was a very good year for the 450.
Yeah, in 05 is when they completely changed them. Not the graphics, but the geometry of the bike changed.
And they didn't like them as much, right? 05 was it 05 it went downhill, I think.
05 is when they were suited the professional, the expert rider more. They had, the suspension was not as soft, and people had to get adjusted to them. But they said they were more suited for, the professional riders, not as much as the novice riders. This is the second one. This is a bike I'd like to sell you.
This is a really rare piece, guys. This is a brand new N.O.S, which means new old stock, never been ridden, never had gas in it. And you bought this one. Did you buy this one brand new?
I bought it brand new. My son and I went to Charlotte and
13 years ago, you bought it brand new.
Yeah, and the CR80s, and they weren't junk. Some models were better than
I had
others.
one for my daughter. We did the 105 big board kit on it, and everything was fast.
We had the 06s were mini bike of the year, and the 07s were naturally just a copy of the 06 with a different graphic on it.
It's a fantastic motorcycle.
It's
really are.
still got the VIN number right there, and I put a piece of tape over that so it wouldn't.
That's a dream bike right there. That's very hard to find.
And I had some guy wanted to buy it from me, and he was asking me about, is that too much bike for my son? And I said, is your son going to ride it? He said, yeah. And I said, hey, it's not for sale.
That thing belongs in a museum. So this BBR here is pretty pimped up too,
This is my son's BBR, and my son and I modified the heck out of that. We spent many an hour right there working on this bike.
Started life as a mild-mannered TTR 125, but it looks like you've done quite a bit to it. You got the triple clamps and pipe and pro circuit pipe and
cam and
you did the cam too.
Yeah,
these are a hoot to ride. Have you ridden this thing?
Yeah,
they're fun. They're fat.
They're
even
fun.
stock. They're fun. So
they're fun.
Is it a stock bore on there? Or?
Yeah, it's a stock bore.
So you did a cam pipe. Is it a stock carb?
I can't remember if we did the carb on it.
It looks like a bigger. That looks like a performance carb to me. I think it looked. Yeah, I think that's an aftermarket car.
We did about everything but the big bore kit. As far as I know, the head came off, and I can't remember what all we did to the head.
Is that a special swing arm?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a BBR swing arm.
Right.
Wow. So it's got a BBR swing arm on there.
It's got the frame cradle, and this, and of course, this triple clamps here.
Triple clamps. Yep.
And I was going to replace the forks. I got some Kawasaki forks.
We got it off of KX85 or something, upside down. Yeah.
And we never got around to doing it.
Very cool piece.
But that was my son's bike, and yeah, it's just, and of course this is a last year 01 500. The gentleman on this bike, this was his backup bike, and all he did was he rode it to get it dialed in, get it tuned in.
In case he needed it, yeah.
In case he needed it.
You can see the radiators are brand new. There's no bent fins. One lap around Southwick in the 500 class, and those fins, you'd have some damage on there.
Well, I've got the original pipe, and he took it off when the bike was new.
Oh, you have an N.O.S pipe, or sort of not?
Yeah, I've got the pipe.
Excellent. This is normal for the yellow for these forks guards to get a little yellowed from just from age.
And guess what? I got all that stuff new.
N.O.S?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Awesome. This is a really nice piece.
In fact, this bike here, when I bought this bike here, I bought a bunch of parts for it. I bought new grips. I don't know, just a bunch of parts for it. So if it ever stuff gets aged, I can replace it.
Guys, I gotta lean it over and check the frame rails. Not even a little pebble ding on this side, and the other side is equally perfect, I'm sure. So that's, with these 500s, these are prone to getting crushed. The frame rails, they're very.
Yeah, Ken, do whatever you need to do. Check them out. Get your microphone glass out. I don't care.
Well, I can tell this one's really nice.
I mean, that's what I want you here for, is to evaluate them.
Not a single ding in this frame. It's absolutely perfect. Very nice. Have you ridden this monster?
No, I with my back,
These things are a handful, these 500s.
well, I used to race that 480 over there.
So you know then, yeah, they're a handful.
Yeah.
It's not for a beginning rider by any stretch of the imagination. So does a 47 represent some? Does that number?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I got a buddy of mine. His name is Austin DeMont, and he's a young kid that races, and now he does the free. He works actually with a circus thing where he, does the flips and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And his number was 47, and I was actually saving that bike for him, but he lives in Florida.
That's a what kind of tank is that on there?
That's a Honda tank.
Oh, it's a Honda tank.
Yeah.
Looks brand new.
I think it is brand new. I think I replaced that.
I thought you said it was a Clark tank.
No,
I could be wrong.
No. The only thing changed on that bike is the pipe.
The pipe?
And the pipe is so I could put the original pipe back on it, but it's too ugly.
That's actually the best pipe to put on this bike. That's been dyno proven to do like 4 horse more than the Pro Circuit pipe. We've tried them all. That's the one to have right there. That's the best pipe you can get for that bike. And
to me, they have to have a different pipe. They just can't run a stock pipe on those bikes.
Wow.
It's a must.
Those things are so fun. Swing arm looks real clean on it. No, there's no gouges on the swing arm. The rims look nice and straight. These are original tires on there, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say they're original tires.
Yeah, these are the original.
Dates on them.
I'm 95% sure. Yep, it's a Dunlop Sports K490G. There's usually a date code somewhere around here.
Go check out the rear ones. The rear one's still got the little nipples on it.
What's the best way to get around? This way?
This way.
So you're building a bigger garage?
Building a bigger garage, and I was building it for my son. I built him a garage and me a garage.
You got some real special cars too, right?
Right. I've got the same amount of cars as I've got motorcycles.
You need a bigger garage. Yeah, this is a new rear tire, right?
Oh, okay, that is a newer tire. No wonder. I replaced the tire on it, and see, I'm old, and plus I had a severe head injury, and I can't remember things very well.
Me too.
And I evidently was changing the sprockets, changed the rear tire and the sprockets on it. Is what I was
nice
doing.
and fresh. Yeah, she's a beaut.
And that's one thing I do with every bike. I put a new spark plug, new chain of sprockets, if it's been ridden at all.
This next one here, the 250SX, this is another bike you bought, if I remember correctly from our conversations. This is another brand new N.O.S motorcycle.
I bought that for my son, Ted.
These are extremely fast, these 250SX. You haven't had a chance to ride one
We bought
yet?
2 of them. We bought a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke.
This is way faster than the 4-stroke.
Oh, yeah. And I rode the 4-stroke.
And that's fast, too. The 4-stroke's fast. This is very fast. So
I used to race the 480, and I'm familiar with big bore bikes, but I was impressed with the 4-stroke. I mean, it wasn't anything.
Oh, they go good
to make you go crazy about, but it was a fast bike.
What year is this 250?
07.
Brand spanking new 2007 250SX.
Yeah, they didn't put fuel in this one either. I bought it from Yamaha Lumberton Jr. and it's the guy's name that runs the place. But he most of the time they say we've got to put gas in it. Factory. I mean they require us to crank them up because once it leaves the building, it's yours. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So not much else to say. You bought it brand new. It's never been ridden, never had gas in it. It's about as perfect of a bike as you could find.
And then my son, I said when we bought it, we were going to put it in the garage. I said let's rinse it off, Ted. And he said no, let's leave the factory dust on it.
So it's even got the factory dust. Guys, this next bike is a real special piece. This is a Husqvarna 250. Is this a 79?
No, I think it's a 75.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the profab made these frames for Husqvarna. They probably didn't have laid down shocks on the standard frame that came with it, right?
No.
And I think Husqvarna sort of maybe copied these with their production frames because the 7980 production frame had a similar stylus, but you can see that's a custom frame on there.
Yeah, see the Husqvarnas had the tubular, had the round swing arms. And I've looked at old pictures and stuff, and I've seen a couple of these bikes. And I've got a picture of Brad Lackey on a bike that I thought this was, one of his bikes, and he called me. He said, "Well, if it was my bike, it'll have the." He told me the VIN number that would be on the frame up there, and there's no numbers on the frame. It's not stamped. But
Is that original paint on there? Or
yeah,
is
that's an original OEM tank. That tank's OEM.
It's perfect. Very nice.
And it's got OEM bars and stuff, and the front end. I don't know if that was like a prototype front end, but I've never seen one like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe a Husqvarna factory front end.
Well, this bike did come from the corporation, and what happened? There was a guy that was restoring it for one of the big heads in the corporation.
Yep.
And he was restoring it for him. They were giving him the parts to do it. He's putting it together, and the man's wife passed away. And he said that I don't care nothing about the bike. You just keep it. And that bike, and this bike right here from that guy. And this was that was parted out that was never sold. This has got the original tires on it too. I want you to check the date. These tires.
So before we jump to this one, because we're kind of doing order. This is another N.O.S. brand new motorcycle.
No.
Oh, this isn't. This is.
No, this right here is a 87. The rare. This is the rare. But I bought this from a gentleman in Pennsylvania.
So somebody restored it like new.
Me.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it came out so nice, right?
When I bought the bike, it was a ridden bike, an older gentleman, but it was a low hour bike. Yep. Those are the original tires on it.
Oh wow. Yeah. So obviously, probably no more than 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. It was ridden and put up wet. You know what I mean? It was ridden. It was dirty, and a seat cover. And again, I searched all over and got every part I could buy for the bike, and I was able to get a front fender, rear fender, a seat cover. I got this right here. I restored that. I painted that side.
So that's an 87 250.
That's 87.
And this is your 500.
And this is 500.
This is the one you said, or the magazine stated it only made 52, right?
No, this one.
Oh, this one. They only
87.
87.
The 87 is the rare year.
And what year is this one?
85.
Okay, so this wasn't quite as rare?
No, the 85. And this bike was parted out, and I had to get I didn't have a tank for it. There's a lot of parts I didn't have, but if you run a bore scope in the cylinder, it's still got the hone marks in there.
Okay.
And those are the original tires.
It's got no time on it. If those are original tires, they look brand new. Have you fired this one up?
No. What I do, again, there's only a couple here that I've fired up, but mostly I take them apart, I strip them down, I oil the mess out of them, the piston rods, cranks, I pour a bunch of oil everywhere it's supposed to be, and then I take the carburetor apart and spray them down with WD-40 and put them back together.
How many, so this is, when you said it was parted out, I'm not quite sure. Was it used for parts for another?
See, it was a bike that was never sold by the dealer.
Oh, and they used it for parts.
And they started robbing parts off of it.
I get it, because it looks like the swing arm is like new. If that's a original rear tire, it's brand new.
When I looked at the bike, the original tires were not on it. I bought it with a different set of tires, and the original tires had been taken off.
Okay.
And they were sitting over to the side.
So basically, it's never been ridden, or
Right.
Okay, so it's like an N.O.S. bike
Right.
that may not have the original parts on it because they maybe parted a few parts. I get it. Okay, I was a little confused. Yeah, you can see the forks have no wear, and the engine cases look to be brand new also. What's the production stats on this? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know, but I know they weren't, because these white bikes they just weren't popular because the Japanese bikes would outrun them. In a drag race and all, the Japanese bikes were half the price, and out of the box were more competitive.
I actually, would you believe, I gave the two Husqvarnas back to Husqvarna and went out and spent my hard-earned money on an 86 CR500, and I went from mid-pack to winning 9 out of the 11 last races. The Husky was holding me back. I hate to say it, but because I'm grateful for what they did for me, but they kept on braking and they weren't fast. That CR500, I could start in third gear, and if I didn't get the whole shot, it's because I messed up. That thing was putting down like 55 rear wheel horse to maybe I don't know what the Husky was putting down, but it just didn't handle as well or ride as well. So since then, I've been a big Honda guy, you know, since that time.
In '87, they really did great improvements to the power on the '87, and they were making it a big advances with the power valves and things on the Husqvarnas. They were going to get faster, and they would have gotten a lot better.
I might have jumped ship a little too soon, but I wanted to win that year, you know. I didn't want to wait, and no regrets. I've had a lot of fun with the CR500 since then. It's been a big staple.
Denny Laporte used to race them. You remember him, Denny?
Oh yeah, of course. Let's check out the
Now,
white CR over there.
that bike right there, I wanted to do something different on it, and actually, I wished I would have. Originally, I had it was going to be stock, and then I decided, no, I want to do something different. So I had an actual Mugen swing arm, but the swing arm, you cannot put a Mugen swing arm on a stock frame. The shock mounts were radically changed. They were up an inch and out an inch, and so there was nobody that I could get to do the modifications on the frame to accept the actual Mugen swing arm. And
What kind of swing arm is that? That's not a Mugen?
No. To tell you the truth, I don't even recall. But anyway, so I was kind of tinkering what I wanted to do. That's a 125 tank, 1979.
I thought it looked a little small.
Tank.
Yeah, I thought.
And see, I wanted to make a bike where people look at it and say, "What the heck is that?" You know
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Different. But you had to move the petcock from one side to the other to make it work.
We call this a resto mod. You know, it's a
There you
restored,
go.
modified. Looks like it has 480 forks on it, or different
82.
forks? Off of CR480.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see it's a fatter fork.
In fact, it's an 82. I think it's 82 CR250.
CR250. Yep.
Yeah, because I had to have them knurled. There were things on here that I had to have taken off. But now what I want to do, I want to completely change it and put like 73 CR fenders on it, a 73 tank, and have me a downpipe and kind of make it look like an old 73. You know what I mean?
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Paint the engine black, and it looks like identical. And like I said, then go with a hand fabricated downpipe, and then kind of leave it like it is. That would be neat.
Has this one been run since you?
No. I've been off and on with this bike, working on it, stop.
Now that 480 in the corner there, that's something that you raced at one point, or
I raced a 480, but this is not the bike I raced, and I sold it. But I love the 82 CR480s. I loved everything about it, and I bought this. It's a low hour bike that needs. I'm gonna go through it and do whatever I can do. If I need to, I had a different shock on mine. Modify the shock, modify the forks, and then I had a bunch of engine work done, and that was it.
So the engine's been rebuilt?
No, I don't know. I don't know anything about this bike other than it's low hours.
The one you raced? Are we talking?
Yeah, the one I raced. I bought it in the crate, and I did a lot of head work and porting to that bike, and it was a monster.
This one here, the Trail 70, is this a
I restored that bike. A friend of mine gave me that bike, and I put $2,000 worth of parts in it, and pretty much there it is. I haven't cranked it because it doesn't have a battery put in it.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to run them without a battery because
I think it has a battery points ignition. I could be wrong, but I don't think it points a fire unless there's a battery in it.
And it also it'll mess up some kind of rectifier or something in there.
What year is this one?
72.
72. Is your car collection here?
No, I've got pictures of my stuff. Oh, I got some nice cars.
Where do you keep your cars?
I've got 5 or I think it's either 5 or 7 up at East Coast Classics in Lillington.
Okay.
I got a gentleman that stores them up there.
Are they muscle cars or?
Yeah, 71. I've got one Chevelle.
What year?
71 454
Nice.
Cal induction 4-speed.
Nice. Dream car.
Blue with white stripes.
Oh no, that's my dream car. My heart just skipped a beat.
Well, I got to show you a picture of
That's not
it.
anymore.
4-speed factory tag.
Oh man. Yeah, no, seriously, actually a friend of mine from high school had a 69 454 Chevelle SS rag top. What was blue with the white stripes with the white top with the white bucket seats, and it had the rally rims, and it sounded so nice, and it just had a little 4-speed Hurst in it. What a beautiful car.
Well, that car.
That's been like a life goal to, and it has to be blue with the white stripes. It's just that color just pops, and those are getting to be very hard to come by.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell it for the world because it's actually it's a zero rust car. I went through it in that garage over there. Went through it, and actually I put
Did it yourself?
Yeah,
wow,
I did it.
It's a lot of work.
I didn't paint. What I do is I sub out the paint and I sub out the engine work.
You do all the prep work and everything.
And then I do everything else myself.
How many hours do you figure?
Oh, I would.
Lots.
But it was fun.
Do you have a favorite of your cars?
That Chevelle.
The Chevelle. That's why you mentioned it first. Yeah. Yeah, that's the epitome of muscle car era, and really the end. 71 was kind of the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, the 71, 72, they were similar, but the 70 was the pinnacle year. That was the high horsepower year. Yeah. But I like the point that I had a 71, which wasn't as fast, but then I go in there and rebuild my motor, recam it, forged pistons.
You can make it as fast as you want.
And I can make it as fast as I want.
That's cool. Well, thank you for sharing this awesome collection of motorcycles here. It really is, you can see you put a lot of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears into restoring the ones and the new ones that you've collected. It's just remarkable that you're able to have the peace of mind to keep this for all these years and not take it out and send it. So,
well, I would love for you to have this one in your shop, this one in your shop, and this one in your shop, because these are nice museum pieces.
Absolutely. Well, if you want a place to keep them, most of the bikes in the museum are on loan from the American Heritage Motorcycle Racing Association riders, or the Antique Motorcycle Club of America, or just private collectors. Most of our Indians are on loan, and we've got some really unobtainium machines in there that 6-figure bikes that are the museum couldn't afford to buy, but we're loaning us. So if you loaned a bike to the museum, it's yours to pick up at any time, and we're open every day except for Christmas. So if there was one in here you wanted to see stay in there in perpetuity, just pick it out. We'll sign a contract, and it's in there until you say it's not in there. So, but that's something you can sleep on,
Right. Well, and like Husqvarnas, if you had, to have the last year, have the first year and the last year, you know what I mean? Have one of the rare years.
Yeah, that thing's a beauty. Even the plastics look brand new on it. So the N.O.S. ones, just to recap, is the 79, the 07,
and 07.
07. So 3 of these are N.O.S. bikes,
right,
and the rest are all restored.
Right.
Excellent. Yeah. This 07 here, you could take to a race today. It's still competitive right out of the box because the technology hasn't changed really much on the 2-strokes.
And the KTM's, they were great bikes. I mean, they used good aftermarket parts on their bikes, and kind of ahead.
Awesome.
Not find anything wrong with this bike, and if you want to do that, you are more than welcome. And I told you that if you find any flaws on my bikes, that knocks off $100 right there.
Well, I think I can take trust your judgment.
There's Rocket Rex Staten. Let me see. Let me go back in here.
What magazine is that?
It's not. It's the program for accident in the Lake Sugar Tree race.
1976.
Yeah.
Wow. Marty Smith.
Yeah, Marty Smith in here. He's Jim West, Brad Lackey.
70s.
I got most of those signatures in here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you went you were at that race?
Yeah, I was at that race. Tony Stefano, Roger DeCall. I got his signature. Stackable.
Awesome.
There's Danny Lepore. He raced Husqvarnas later on.
Go back to the Team Honda one.
Roger DeCoster signature right there.
Roger D. That's awesome. That's there's the Team Honda factory team, 1976, right?
Right.
Tommy Croft.
He's still alive and kicking and doing real well. I don't know about the others. It was such a shame that man's not alive.
Yeah, I guess him and his wife had quite an accident. So
Yeah. In fact, they just had a race for him not long ago, like a memorial race.
so the ones that were restored, I would it's safe to assume you went crank up on those and did crank seals and everything else.
No, I can't. See, I got a bunch of stuff like this.
Yep.
You know, all these old books. You know, I don't know if you want stuff like that for your shop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we collect. We actually have a library in the museum.
Yeah, that's it. You need a library.
We have one. We have over
Yep.
3,000 books, hardbound and magazines and.
Everything,
Oh.
yeah.
There's
We're
the real
always
deal.
adding to it.
1974 motocross Fox. Look at that. Wow.
Take it out. Look through the stuff that was in
Oh,
there.
you want to fold? I
There's
haven't seen one of these since 1974.
Daytona program, 1975. I was there.
How cool is that? Look at Miko. That's what Kenny raced at
Yep,
the
Daytona
Daytona
Vintage.
Supercross last year.
yep.
Here's what I'm looking for right there. And see, this has got. If you look at the tires on it,
It shows it right
see the tires are like these
Yep.
here. They're not like those over there.
there. Yeah. A more traditional knobby style.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's
And
it.
if that's not that bike up and down, I'll give you 50 cents. You know what I
That's
mean?
it. That's it. Confirmed. It's a match. Twins. Twins, Basil again. Hey, we got quadruplets here.
I know.
Not only twins, we got quadruplets. Wow. Very
But
cool.
This is a bunch of that stuff. But these might be before your time.
Oh no, we collect and buy and sell these now. ST90, we've done those.
Yeah, I'd like to have one of those bikes today. But anyway,
See, yeah, I've done every one of those bikes you showed me so far.
yeah.
We're big at time in Hondas, so there's aren't many Hondas that we
Yeah.
haven't restored.
Did you just buy a 350?
We did. Yep.
Let me see if I got it in here. I'll give you one of these.
It was a CB 350. Check this out. We literally just bought this bike from Bino Roby in the 2 videos ago that you'll see in blue and that color, that exact same bike. And Mark just gave me the brochure to it. Thank you, brother. Wow. How
Check it
cool
out.
is that? Can you open that up? I got it.
This is rare. This is the very first, brochure that came out on the.
Oh my God. You know, every one of those got scotch taped to some 14-year-old kid's wall.
Yeah.
You know? Wow. That's awesome. That's what happened. These were posters. We'd put them on the walls when we were kids, and
Yeah.
then eventually they'd get ripped, and
There's another rare one right
Oh
there.
yeah, 754. We've done a bunch of those. We love Hondas. They always seem to.
I was
Run
a
really
Honda
good.
fan too.
Ooh, look at that 100. The red, white, and
There's a 1270. That's the H model too, and that is a H over there too, the 4-speed. In fact, I got a buddy of mine that had one of them new. And
this is. I love this color combo on this one right here. That's a pretty bike right there.
yeah, it is. It is.
Very nice.
To finish it, I've got a lot of parts to finish this bike.
Okay. Yep.
But this fender right here, that was not a production fender.
No.
This fender right here, if you take a good look at it, you do your research, these fenders were on the prototype bikes.
Oh wow. That's
On
pretty
Brad
cool.
Lackey's bike, yeah.
That's awesome.
See there, see how it's. I've got a Husqvarna fender over there, but that is not a production fender. And this, like I said, this front end, it had to be a prototype front end for Husqvarna.
So this might have been a factory prototype
It
bike.
was, and the man that bought me said this bike's got a pedigree, and the engine is. I just run a bore scope down it the other day just to make sure it's freshly bored,
Yeah.
piston, and all that, and you can tell the engine how it's.
So going down the row here, which ones do you want to sell?
Well, I want this one. I want to sell this one because I'm kind of out of Husqvarnas. These two, I don't really, I could take it or leave it.
Yep.
And of course, this one's not for sale. I'd sell this one.
How about that? You skipped over the 250 KTM here. Is this one for sale? Possibly.
Yes and no. That was the bike I bought for Ted.
Okay.
And it's possibly. You'd have to make me an offer on it, and
Okay.
and you say, look, Mark, this is all I can pay you for the bike. I can't pay you because you bought it for sentimental value.
Yep.
This is what I can give for it, and if I can take it, I'll take it. If I can't, I can't.
All right, and then the CR500 is for sale.
Yeah, you make me an offer on it. This
This one-
everything's for sale.
This one
was
you
not. No,
okay?
this is my son's
The
bike.
ones that you don't want to sell, I guess we should just point those out. That'd be easier to.
This one.
This is your son's bike. That's not going anywhere.
This one.
That's a lot of fun to ride too. You should take it out and ride it. Those are a hoot.
Number 2 and number 4. I want to keep those two.
So you want to keep.
Number 2 and number 4.
That's 2.
This is 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. One. I was doing it backwards.
So
1.
2
So
and
2
4.
and 4 are not for sale. So
Yeah.
Correct.
the end.
This is the one I want to sell because this needs to be in a museum.
793, 791, and then so the ones the easiest thing for me to do that for me to remember, 2 and 4 is not for sale. This is not for sale. And the other ones you could take early.
Yeah, you can make me an offer on.
Okay, okay.
Ken, and and you know what you can pay for them, and
Yeah.
and you say, Mark, this is all I can give you for
Yeah.
it, and if it's not enough, then I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
And then later on, maybe
Yeah.
next year, you can say, hey, Bo, I can give you a little bit more for your
Okay.
bike.
Sure. What I'll probably do, what would make the most sense is I'll make a list and I'll put a
I got a list if you want a list.
oh, that'd be great. I can put up a package price for the whole lot, minus the ones you want to keep, and then individual prices on them. Which
That'll
individual,
work.
like if I cherry pick it, I don't mind paying more if I'm only buying one. But if I'm buying 10, we'll get a little discount.
Have you got an 85 CR500?
85?
Yeah.
Not in our possession right now, but they seem to come and go.
Well, 82, so I got them all in 85.
You got 2 at 85s.
84. There's an answer
Catalog.
catalog. And these right here, AMA from way back when I was just a pup, about 18 years old. So this is like 1977 or
Okay.
8 when I was going to go to the motorcycle mechanic schools.
Look at this.
That's my 94. I like 94 Corvettes.
Beautiful. Wow.
And there's a
Looks brand new.
well, I have to keep my stuff up.
Yeah, I'd say. I've noticed.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Basically brand new.
It is. It looks brand new. Freaking awesome. Wow.
Tucker Carlson from Fox. This is a little bit
I've
of a
got
long clip.
air tools that are still in the box.
Wow.
To a minute 30 or less.
That's a world-class tool set right there. That box alone is a dream box.
Air tools never been used since.
Wow.
Absolutely eviscerating this
Awesome.
study, and I want you to take away a couple of points from this. Number one, the one I already told you about. Who funded the study? A radical
Ratchets. You know what I mean?
Perfectly organized. Well, that's what if you're going to restore stuff frame up, you got to have the right tools, right?
Because they happen. But number two.
Wow,
I want you
that's
to keep this in
impressive.
mind as you're listening to this clip by Tucker Carlson.
And this, I use mostly.
They tried to determine.
What are those engines over there?
They didn't really try. But when
These
they tried
are-
to determine if
I've
there's
got a
conservative
79. I've got a 79 Corvette with 20,000 miles. That I went. A girl in high school had it. She graduated in 79. Her daddy bought a Corvette, 79 Corvette. She drove it for 20,000 miles while she went to college. Parked it. Sat there for 34 years, and then I bought it.
Wow. So that's a 20,000 mile motor that's been completely restored.
Yeah, and a 79 Corvette motor was weak. There wasn't a whole lot to it. So it's got aluminum heads, and now it's a 425.
It's not weak anymore.
This is a Warren Engines race motor. Came
Wow.
From that motor's got pedigree. That's a Jeff Warren engine. He signed it on the.
How many horsepower is that one?
I tell you the truth, I don't know.
Plenty.
Because I can't remember.
Plenty, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've got the dyno records on.
What are you
it.
putting that in?
I was going to build a race car. I got an 85. I've got an 84 and 85 Camaro. I think I've got 5 or 6 Camaros.
And you know you have a lot of cars and you're not sure how many you have. That's a 500. No,
Yeah,
is that brand new or was it
This
take off?
this is the pipe that came off the bike
Off
over
the
there.
2001? Yep. Okay.
And I mean, look at it. It's brand new.
It looks really good.
Yeah. This should be a brand new set of Fox shocks in here.
Wow, look at that, huh?
Yep. There you go, buddy.
What are those, like 1980? These are, right? 79, 80?
Yeah.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Where'd you find a set of these?
I I paid $1,200 for them a long time ago.
Wow. They're just gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah, that was going on that Mugen bike that I was going on. These right here, I mean, these are new old stock, old Husqvarna rubber fork boots they used to put on the bottom ends.
Yep.
There's a little Husqvarna tank.
CR480 parts.
And here you go, Bo. You got any old riding gear?
Look at that, huh? The JT.
This is probably 1977 or so. I
Coho.
wore these back in the day when I was racing a TM 125 or something.
That's
you
pretty.
know what I mean?
Looks mint shape too.
Yeah, it didn't got too many hours on it. I didn't
Very
wear them. It was hot, and to tell you the truth, I didn't like them. And these books, I mean, if you want to go through shop manuals and stuff, like I don't know how much they cost, but you know, if you wanted to buy these from me,
Yeah,
these are like $35, and what would you give for one? I mean,
they actually sell them on eBay now for like $7 to $12. Used ones like this.
Oh,
That's
okay.
about what there's really the one. These aren't worth much. This is actually worth more. The production Honda stuff is worth the OEM. The Climber stuff never went up in value. The Honda stuff, like if this is an original Honda shop manual, that if this is an official original, not a copy, to the right person, this could be worth $50-$100. You know, because they've got the bike to go with it. But this stuff, the Climber, for some reason, that stuff never went up in value.
Okay.
Because I think they produced as many as you wanted, whereas Honda only made enough for the bikes. You know.
well, I wish we had a lot more time because I'd give you a lot of stuff. In fact, your ammunition's over there.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. 38 special. I didn't know a 38 special will fit in a 357.
Oh yeah, 357, 38 special. It's the same thing. It's just the 357 Magnum is just a Magnum load on a 38. That's all it is.
Okay.
And you research that, so you know I'm not telling you a lie. But there's the 2001 for my 2001 Honda.
See that now this if someone has a 2001 CR and they restored it, they didn't have this. This is a $100 bill all day long.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna go with the bike.
You
know?
can't. I mean, if it's original, they only made so many. Yeah, and there's codes on the back here that confirm that's an original, not a reproduction. You can kind of tell by looking at them. It has a little bit of patina.
No,
The whites-
this is that's a Honda, actual Honda service.
Yep. Those are valuable too.
Yeah,
Yep,
the
especially.
CR500.
Yep, it's a Honda product. That's why.
Right, and that I mean, and stuff like that will boost the price of my 01 Honda.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there's the 07 stuff.
07. Yep, that's the 85 expert.
Yeah, the 85. These books are very valuable. They're copies, but they're Husqvarna service manuals. And you see, I've got. See what I mean? I've got it's got all the part numbers and the breakdowns, and this stuff is ultra hard to get. And they're actual. I guess somebody made copies of the stuff, but to try to find that stuff today, this is of course an unrestored.
That's really nice.
Yeah. See that's a nice tank that you would not want to restore. You don't touch it. It's too nice.
Little patina, original graphics and everything. That's very nice.
And then a restored model with a N.O.S. I have restored models too.
That's beautiful. They did a nice job on that. It's not easy matching the original factory yellow.
No, and see, I've got originals. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The color may be a little bit off, but this
'cause
is
it
probably faded.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's really nice job. Did you send those out to have them professionally painted?
No, a buddy of mine did. And I remember I told you I bought a bunch of these.
Yep.
The guy had 14 of them, new old stock.
Yeah, those are hard to come by.
This is a unrestored 1979 tank.
CR250 tank.
The real deal, yeah. And it's with low hours on it.
So if you wanted to make your white one a red one, there you go.
Yeah, well, I've got another tank, and I've got a couple of them. But yeah, I would never touch this one because it's original. you
Yeah,
know?
it's only original once, man.
And
That's
you know what
probably
its
more
stickers
valuable
are
than
supposed to
one
be.
was repainted, you know?
Yeah, it's more valuable than a restored one to me in that condition. And you know, there's the cap. Got a mint cap. And I had a big tank collection. And see tanks like this right here. You know, I'd love to get.
That's in really nice shape.
Yeah, and tell me what you give for it, because you know this tank is a steel tank, but it's close to the TM tanks. You know the.
Is it TS 125?
Yeah.
Yep.
You probably know more about it than I
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
But the motocross bike, the 73 TM 125 I had, I think that's close to the same tank. But it may have been an aluminum tank, but this is it had to be because this tank's got a little bit of weight on it.
That's an Enduro one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Is your wife? She in the truck?
You know what? She might not know where we are right now, so
Well, get